So I just got this M-Audio Keystation Mini 32 Mark III. It's the cheapest portable little mini controller I could find on Amazon here in Canada. I think it was about 60, 69 Canadian dollars. So we're gonna open it and take a look and see if it's any good. Don't need this. It's pretty light, which I like. I think this is perfect for just sticking in a backpack and taking around. The keys are kind of squishy, if I'm honest. Definitely nothing like a real piano, but hopefully it's good enough to be able to input some data into the computer so that I can get some synth patches going. We're gonna plug it in, see if it works. I'm hoping it will. And we can go from there. Let's load up a patch. For this song, I'm gonna try starting with this augmented strings plugin from Arturia. See if we can get some kind of cool pad going underneath these guitars. Hello, are you gonna load? There we go. That's cool. So like when you press the octave buttons, they change color, different colors depending on which octave you're in. So you can easily see which octave you're in, which I think is cool. Let's play with this, what is this? Explore Tomorrow patch here. Let's go from the chorus, try adding it there. Giving up wondering now. I'm sick of giving up, but I can give it up. Now I'm giving up wondering now. I'm sick of giving up, but I can give it up. Now I'm giving up wondering now. Footprints in the snow, will they lead me home? All right, look at my amazing performance here. Do I actually like this coming in? It's still a bit too bright for me, so I think I might try and filter this a bit more. Let's try the RC20 on this. Let's hear it without the vocals just to see what this is adding to the guitars. I think this is too much for these guitars, so I'm not going to use that patch. Everything in this particular plugin is pretty full on for this song. I just need something really simple and small. What if we use this patch here for just this section in the second verse, at the start of the second verse? Let's try that. Something like that. Maybe put like some sort of filter on them. Maybe not. Too much again. Too much. What if we try augmented mallets? All right, so I found this cool patch here in augmented mallets. And I'm just gonna kind of try and put this in the verse underneath the guitars and see what it can add. And we'll start at the second half of the verse. All right, cool. So I'm gonna make this build start a little bit earlier, because the way this works is like if you hold down a note, it modulates and starts to kind of build. And so I'm just gonna try and use that to give a push into the chorus and just, you know, make it feel a little bit more exciting. So let's hear this in context. Cool, and then I'll just have that cut completely, maybe, or maybe I'll modulate it down. Yeah, maybe modulate it down. So in the chorus, I'll just keep it going and then I'll filter it down. So let's see if we can add some modulation to this patch as well to make it do something interesting as well in the verses and not just be like kind of static the whole time. Okay, so I'm just going to play with this morph knob here and just see if I can bring it to life a little bit more. Put this into latch mode. I didn't like that. Yeah, let's just undo that. Let's go again. I didn't like that either. Okay, cool. So it sounds like to the left kind of closes the filter down. So I'm gonna automate that to close a little bit going into the chorus just so it doesn't get too harsh. Cool, and we're also just gonna turn the reverb up going into the chorus. Cool. I wonder if we drop this down an octave. Yeah, so we don't get as many of those annoying kind of whistly notes that are just annoying. And we can filter off all of the low end with an EQ, so. Let's hear it in context with everything, so. Hearken to your voice, telling me to stay. I've given up wondering. I've given up wondering now. I'm sick of giving up. Yeah, let's take it all the way to the end of the chorus. I just want to hear it without the vocals, just to make sure it's really pushing into that chorus. I'm gonna, because of the reverb and the delay and stuff on this, sounding like it's a little bit delayed, so I'm just gonna drag it back a bit. Not too much. Okay, it's not really pushing into the chorus now with that big swell. So I'm wondering if I automated the color down too much. I must have accidentally deleted our morph automation here, so let's just write that in again. Now I'm going to bring my color down going into the chorus. All right, that's cool for now. When I'm mixing it, I'll automate the volume a little bit and place it, have it ebb and flow a bit more. I think it's cool for now to leave it there. Let's see what else can we add with this thing. Why don't we just try and record some piano and see what it sounds like. If it doesn't sound good as a piano, just dry, we can throw it into some delays and reverbs and see if we can make something sound cool. I don't know, could be cool. You're coming with me. I'm trying to find a good position for the mic here in the piano. I've just stuck it kind of just inside the top or just above the top, looking at where the hammers hit the strings to get more of a percussive sound. It sounds okay. And because I only have one mic stand, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to stick with just recording this in mono. Not ideal, not what I would like, but you make do with what you've got. I'm thinking to just play low chords in the chorus to add to what the guitars are doing. Maybe we keep it mono, maybe we double track it, we'll see. So let's just call this piano 1. And what I'm going to do is, just in terms of the arrangement, I think I'm not going to use this in the first chorus with the low chords. I'm just going to bring it in the second chorus just to have the song evolve a little bit more so the second chorus feels even stronger than the first chorus. I tried a chord, it didn't work. Let's try again. Played the wrong chord. Double track. We've got our 2 piano tracks, so let's take a listen to what they sound like. I mean, this piano is old and it's kind of out of tune, but I'm hoping that it'll just add to the chorusy effect. I'm trying to look at this positively. So let's see what we've got in context with the music. I forgot my little shaker metronome still on. Silly guy. It is pretty out of tune. We could try this on something like this patch here, which is this Spitfire Originals intimate grand piano. Let's hear what this sounds like in context versus what the real piano sounds like. So this is the Spitfire patch. And I've got our real piano here. I don't know, can we get away with it being super out of tune? I like the character, I just love the character of a real piano that you stick a mic in front of it. It's really hard to get that just from software VSTs, especially for like upright, raw, folky kind of pianos. I don't know, I think we can try and get away with this. It just adds to the chorus kind of sound. Yeah, the fact that it's really out of tune, I don't think is a huge issue. And if we throw some reverb and stuff on it, it will help it to feel a little bit more chorusy as well. So, lunch is ready? Yes. Okay. All right, it's lunchtime. Okay, we've got our piano. Now I'm just wondering if we add something like a synth bass, kind of sub bass into this final chorus to just make it because at the moment it's just these acoustic instruments and it doesn't really have a lot of body. Let's see what happens if we add a bass. It might be horrible. Pigments. Try this one. Turn down the sustain. Something like that. Yeah, so it just adds that bottom octave to the piano. Without this, when the chorus comes in, it sounds like this. I've given up wondering now. And then when we add this in, I've given up wondering now. I'm sick of giving up, but I can give it up. It makes it sound more modern, if that's what we want. I don't know if that's what we want, but maybe we want that. This is just a simple patch I created in Pigments. Yeah, just dragged a sample into here and that's about it. Set the filter. I'm thinking for the first verse, we could just keep it really sparse and just leave lots of room for reverb and delay and effects on the vocals and make the vocals really dreamy, and just keep it as it is with just these really high guitar parts and no real substance. That gives room once we get to the first chorus for the lower guitars to come in. And then in the second verse, maybe we add something to kind of have it a little bit more built up. And then in the second chorus, that's when our bass and the piano come in and it's kind of much fuller sounding. I'm wondering if we can process the guitars a little bit for this verse. Let me bust the high guitars together. So these are all our high guitars. Let me just bust them together. Then on the bus, I will put the RC20 that we have here. Yeah, I wonder if we can use this to make it more lo-fi sounding. Maybe some of that wobble on there, the wow and flutter. Bit of this magnetic on there. Can we make it sound more lo-fi? All right, I need to come up with some sort of warm pad that can go underneath these guitars and continue playing into the second verse, because I left this gap here for where the second verse comes in that I wanted to just have a pad holding down those chords, like here. Wandering now, footprints in the snow. So let me try some of my weird pads that I've got. Literally the weirdest, most boring sounds, if I'm honest. Okay, I like this generate the wave patch. This isn't mine, but I like it. It's very simple. Sounds like that. Where do we come in with this? Can it play from the start? Can it play underneath those intro and verse guitars? Is this a mistake? Can it be erased? I've given up wondering. I've given up wondering now. I don't want it to come in right at the start of this verse. If I can kind of start it from the second half, but then play with the modulation and the automation to not have it so rich and full and just kind of make it more breathy sounding in this second half, and then once it gets to the chorus, then I let the fullness of the low frequencies come through. Let's try something. Hawk into your voice, telling me to stay. I've given up wondering. I've given up wondering now. That's kind of cool. I accidentally hit this note here, and I want this to start at the start of the chorus, which is bar 121, so I'm just gonna drag this back. But you know, I think that's something, that's all we really need in terms of the pad. It's just adding to what's already there, but it's really the musicality in the guitars that's making this cool to me. This is just to make it sound a bit fuller and a bit more modern, I guess. Let's just take a listen to what it sounds like at the start of this verse. I've given up wondering now. Yeah, I'm not sure about having that chord there, or that note there. Maybe it comes in there. I've given up wondering. I've given up wondering now. Maybe just like that. I've given up wondering. I've given up wondering now. Within pigments, is there something I can do to just modulate this a bit? Doesn't look like it. So I can add my own. Something like the RC20. Actually, RC20 has some good presets in it for this kind of thing. Yeah, something like this Pad Magic preset here just adds a little bit of movement to it. Or maybe this one. Yeah, I like this one. But I still want to add some sort of filter to this just to have it more filtered when it first comes in, and then kind of open it up more into the chorus and start it there. I'm going to automate this.
I've given up wondering. I've given up wondering now. I'm sick of giving up.
You know what? I'm wondering if we can make this synth here a little bit more narrow when it gets to this verse. So it kind of changes and everything's not so wide. What if we use RC20 and just bring back this width knob? In fact, let's just do it here in the automation. So RC20 is a width, global width, master out width. Here we go. So bar 105, we're just gonna bring it back to, let's say 30%. Yeah, something like that. So in context,
I'm giving up wondering now. Footprints in the snow.
and then maybe like slowly this could open up here. So something like this.
Always know I've given up wondering. I've given up wondering now.
I need something else that's a little bit more rhythmic there, so it's not just like completely flat. I don't know if I like that pad there at all anymore. Let's see. I found this other patch that I liked before. Something like this, a sound like this that just has a little bit of texture. Just gotta figure out what to play.
Footprints in the snow.
So something like this. I'm not liking the low pass, the high pass filter on this. I want this to be more high pass overall, I think. Yeah, so I'm gonna say this should not be, where are we? This should not be more than, I don't know, 200 Hertz, 100 Hertz. Let's try going to 200. Yeah, see what that sounds like here.
Footprints in the snow. Will they lead me home? I've given up wondering.
What if this does something else here and gets more high passed?
Now, footprints in the snow. Will they lead me home? I've given up wondering.
Let's just try this. Let's just try this and come in here with a, okay, so this is what I want to do. Automate this.
Now, footprints in the snow. Will they lead me home? I've given up wondering.
Something like that. This is cool. I think it could be more affected. No distortion, no EQ. Okay, so I'm gonna try and use this RC20 to just add some random dropouts here. So I got this pretty cranked, just set to 4 or 5%. And because this is random every time, I'm going to bounce this and then just kind of keep bouncing it until I find something that I like. Hopefully it just randomly generates something that I like. And then that way it's bounced, so it's committed. So it's never gonna be random again. It's always gonna be a printed audio file, so.
Footprints in the snow.
I don't really like that.
Footprints in the snow.
Let's just try one more.
Footprints in the snow. Will they lead me?
I liked the start of this one more, so I'm just gonna put that up there.
Footprints in the snow.
I think I'm gonna leave it there today, but we're making progress. I like how it comes into that second chorus now and it just gets bigger, and with that low bass octave, it just feels satisfying. And I'm liking the new lyrics as well. So next time I come back, I think I'm just gonna work on the little bits in between, maybe add some more little sparkly things, and then try and record some good vocals. Once those are recorded, I think we can mix the song. So I hope that was enjoyable for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.